Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Eyes Up Here. I'm your host, Lindsay Palos. Once again, we are here at the Focus TV studios in West Hollywood, California, and you can check this podcast out on eyesupheretv.com. And I have an Instagram now. It's Eyes Up Here TV. Go figure. So go add me on there. Today, I have a very special guest. She is beautiful. She is a model. She is an athlete. She is a registered nurse. She's a Jill of all trades. This is Lauren Drain.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me, Lindsay.
You're welcome. Of course. Lauren Drain, right? That's how I say your name?
Lauren Drain.
What's your middle name?
My middle name is Danielle.
Okay. I like to know everything.
You can find me Lauren Drain Fit on Instagram or Lauren Drain on Facebook. Yes. Or Lauren Drain on YouTube.
There we go. That's a lot of Lauren Drain. Yeah, I've seen your name pop up on my Explore page and on my friends' pages for a very long time.
Oh, wow.
I think that you're one of the more like household fitness names when it comes to the internet.
I'm trying to get there. That's for sure. That's a goal.
Yeah.
Lifetime goal.
Yeah. How many followers do you have?
On Instagram, I think it's 3.8 million. Ooh. On Facebook, 1.8 million.
Holy shit.
I'm working my way up there.
That's a lot. How'd you get that many followers?
Honestly, I really poured myself into fitness about 4 or 5 years ago when Instagram was just starting to pop. Mm-hmm. Fitness became like kind of all the rage on Instagram. Yeah. A lot of fitness fads, fit goals, things like this, a lot of trending things. So I really was growing my socials around that time. And over the past couple of years, it's been like a little more challenging to grow. Mm-hmm. But I did go out of my way to do a lot of fitness competitions, fit collabs with different influencers, and, you know, always looking for new collabs.
Yeah, hell yeah. Isn't that crazy 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Where I was a bartender. Which is fine.
I was a full-time nurse working night shift at 2 different hospitals trying to afford my fitness competitions.
Oh my God. Yep. I want to talk all about that. Okay, so Lauren, where are you from?
That's a difficult question. So I was born in Florida, raised in Florida and also in Kansas. I went to school and graduated college in Kansas, got my nursing degree, and then I moved to Connecticut. I lived in Connecticut for about 7 years, and I've moved out to LA about 3 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. I don't want to ask your age, but you seem too young to have done all of that. Like, I feel like you've done a fourth of that.
Yes. I mean, I'm young. I mean, age is just a matter.
Exactly. 100% true. Wow. Okay. So you grew up in Florida. Now, without you guys, this is a real treat because I was going to invite you on just because of your health and fitness and all of your amazing accomplishments there. And my hairdresser / best friend, he told me the other day, he's like, yeah, you know, you should really have Lauren on. She has a crazy story about her childhood and upbringing. And she's a New York Times bestseller for telling this story.
Thanks, Peter, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. But
props. And
I had no idea. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I don't want to give it away, but you got to walk me through your childhood, I guess. I don't know how we tell the story.
So yes, I did write a book. It's a memoir about my former life. I was raised in a strict religious cult background from ages 14 to 21. So a few years after I left the church, because basically they have some very strict religious, hateful, extremist, judgmental beliefs.
Wow.
I ended up leaving and wasn't allowed to communicate with my family anymore, not being part of that, church. So a few years later, I was approached by several media to run stories on, how it was like living there and what it's like not being part of my family anymore. And I ended up deciding to write a memoir about my story there. So it's 7 years where I was in a religious cult, kind of how I left, how I've grown a new life, a new identity, new faith, everything since I've been out. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I tried to buy the book too, but it wouldn't come till Wednesday. And I was like, I can't read that fast. But I wanted to read the whole thing and be super prepared. Okay. So before 14, what was your life like? I mean, where were you? Honestly, you living in Florida?
Yes. Living in Florida. I feel like it was a normal childhood. Both my parents were like softball coaches and like really involved with like my life and my sister's life. So I feel like it was a really average, normal American upbringing, and until I was like thrust in this really strict religious cult. So I didn't even have like my parents didn't really raise me a certain belief system. My mom was Catholic. My dad was kind of atheist for a while. So that was a quick change of pace. Yeah. He actually was ironically going into this religious cult as a director of a documentary. He was going to do like a mockumentary on them, like style, like a parody of like their religion, kind of like mocking their religion. And after he spent about a summer with them, he ended up believing a lot of the things that they were teaching and becoming like an extremist, conformed into their religion.
Whoa.
Yeah, after one summer. So then he moved the whole family. Oh, sorry. I got excited. I got excited.
Are we safe? Okay, we're
Are
good.
we good? So then he moved all of us there over the summer, and we lived there for 7 years. My life completely changed after that.
Wait, and I'm just sitting here on the pronoun, like, where is there? Like, okay, hold on. Okay, can I tell you? So the religion she's talking about is the Westboro Baptist
Church in Topeka, Kansas. So it's pretty infamous. It's pretty hateful, judgmental beliefs, and which I don't believe those hateful, judgmental beliefs anymore.
They're always on Bourbon Street.
But
They really are.
They're always like picketing and protesting different things. But yeah, so I'm not part of that, and I not even allowed to communicate with my family anymore because I decided to leave the church and leave those beliefs. And yeah, so that's been about 11 years now that I've been out and unable to communicate with my brother and sisters and my mother. And so it's been definitely challenging, but
That's like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
11 years, I feel. You know, your atoms replace themselves every 7 years?
oh,
Yeah, I read this book about the brain, and it said your atoms replace themselves every 7 years. And the only thing we have to keep our identity, the only thing that makes us have an identity are our memories.
Yeah.
And I read that the brain can actually they'll shift your memories to be what you want them to be for the time being.
yeah.
So we're kind of this evolving person. We're
Like
never
I've
the same person.
Definitely evolved over the every 7 years. Yeah, something. I feel like it's a whole different life that I led.
Yeah.
And even like these last 7 years has been crazy challenging too. Like I worked a whole different, like a bunch of different nursing jobs for over the last 7 years. I've been a nurse for about 10 years. And then I had the career shift where I went towards health and fitness and inspiring people into like this health and fitness lifestyle, where I really wanted them to focus on that as a preventative healthcare instead of just going to the hospital and getting fed a lot of medications. I feel like people really need to take their health seriously at home and at first with their nutrition and lifestyle first. So
Yeah.
that's been my newest passion. And yeah, definitely feel like I've lived a couple different lifestyles.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. It's crazy to me, even when you talk about your childhood, how, you know, your parents had this big shift while you were in high school. I actually have a girlfriend whose mom got super religious in the middle of high school. And she'll talk about, when she talks about her childhood, she always brings this up. And she's like, yeah, my parents went through a change. And my mom got really psycho-religious. And it like kind of changed my upbringing. It's kind of weird how that can just...
I had a lot of changes in. It was a really awkward time. So you're 14, like you're already going through a really awkward time in your life.
Oh my God.
I moved away from my friends.
I'm so sorry. I just spilled coffee on my
Oh,
shirt.
you're just trying to call attention to the
Speaking
rest.
of... God,
We're already looking at you.
You guys. Oh my fucking God. Okay, ignore me. Anyway.
You want me to spill on mine?
I'm such a terrible journalist.
I can't even. That's why I stopped drinking coffee, because I know I'll spill. So
I knew
I'm
I
like,
would.
It goes down. I get
My show is called Eyes Up Here, and I've just poured hot coffee down my breast. I'm sorry,
like
guys.
as if we're not already looking.
I'm doing my best here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go through. Tell me more.
Where were we? Okay,
We're talking about
14
all
is an
these-
awkward age anyways.
worst.
I'm moving away from my family and friends. I'm 14. I'm in middle school, and I have to start middle school with a new group of people. And oh, by the way, I'm in a religious cult where it's super awkward. So I had started to dye my hair already. So I had to stop tying my hair. I couldn't cut my hair. I couldn't wear makeup anymore. I couldn't wear a push-up bra. Like everything that you kind of start as a teenager. All the things you start to do to like feel confident, you know, I had to take away all that in high school and be super awkward and part of a strict religious cult, and then pick at my own like classmates during lunch hour. And
You had to go out
things.
and do the active. Is activism the appropriate word?
We would protest our own class and our own school and hold up picket signs and stuff. So it was kind of awkward. But
That takes so much balls.
Yeah, actually, I would say that was one positive benefit is you do grow balls really fast.
Yeah,
like you have to stand. You know, you have to stand up for your beliefs, or at that time what I thought my beliefs were. And I definitely got a lot of hate, you know, got things thrown at me, definitely one too many times.
that is crazy.
So, yeah.
So when you moved to Topeka, Kansas?
Yeah.
What is the place like that you moved to? Is it a city where everyone happens to kind of live and have a community, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a typical capital. I mean, it is in the Midwest, so it's not thriving like a city like Los Angeles or anything.
Yeah.
But it is a typical capital, and my particular neighborhood that I lived in, they had like this block of houses that were all part of the church together. So, and some of them had like backyards conjoined. So they called it like the compound, where like all of us religious freaks at the time were, living and being raised. So yeah, there was this block of houses that were all together that were kind of like taboo. Like, oh, what's behind those fences over there? Like, those are the kids that protest and picket and stuff like that.
What?
So.
God, that's so interesting.
That's actually that location in Topeka, Kansas. That particular block is still has like my siblings live there. My sister, I think she's married with kids now, lives across the street, and my parents with my two younger siblings. I have siblings as young as 19 years younger and 16 years younger than me. And I'm
gosh,
I'm the oldest of four. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be a bit so tough as the oldest.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot of pressure on me.
Oh my God. Yeah. You're the leader, especially of your siblings.
Yeah. So when I tried to gently like tell my parents, like, we shouldn't say this, we shouldn't say that, I kind of would bring up different Bible verses that I thought were saying like what we're saying and doing is actually super judgmental of people and condemning of people. Of course, that didn't go over well at all, but I tried to be a good influence on them and try to see if I could steer them away from some of the direction that they had were going, because my parents weren't raised there. Mm-hmm. There are people raised there from the time they're born and that's all they believe. But I thought maybe we could have an impact knowing that they didn't start there. They didn't, start believing there. But that didn't go over so well. Got kicked out of my family, got kicked out of my house.
Just for kind of asking and
for trying to question their beliefs, trying to question their belief system. And but I've seen a lot of kids leave from other families, and I've been in contact with them. I've actually I've reached out. I did like a small little charity, like a GoFundMe for some kids that have left. Because ironically, a lot of the kids that leave don't have a lot of money. Yeah. Because they're giving all their money to the church. They're giving all their money to their family, and they don't really have a place to stand on because they don't have a support network. So for a while there, I was helping out and making sure their kids would feel like they could leave or could question their beliefs or I reached out and gave, money and raised some money for them. So,
wow.
So I tried to show my siblings who are younger. Right now, I think the youngest are around 13 and 15.
Still babies.
Yeah, they're still babies.
Oh, wow.
I tried to show them that there is life after this. There's a survival story after this, because it's a very frightening thing when you leave something that you're brainwashed to believe is the only right way.
Mm-hmm. My ex-boyfriend. Don't listen to this. Just kidding.
So I wanted to be an example to show them that it's not so scary to leave or step outside what you know and the beliefs that you've been raised in. And in fact, you also have support on the outside. So that's something sometimes the kids are afraid of, is that they're not going to have support because they are raised with these such strict religious beliefs and also hateful beliefs. So they think that if they've been hating on people, when they leave, they're going to get hated on. So I tried to kind of show them that that's not the case, and there is life after
and
it.
Forgiveness.
There's forgiveness, and that you can break free if you need to. I am personally a Christian, but I don't throw my beliefs in people's faces kind of like they do. They're very kind of in your face about it. So
kinda, yeah. No, I heard they are. I can only imagine, especially as a child. So when you grew up till 14, your parents they were together. Yeah, which is amazing. So, parents that stay together is already such a strong thing, and then you kind of had to shift the way you thought of your parents. Like, that is so huge to me. Imagine questioning your mom and dad, or kind of nudging them. I can just imagine that being beyond frightening, but so traumatizing, because these are your caregivers.
There were a lot of traumatizing things that I experienced over the years. One of the things was my dad actually put me in really awkward situations with my mother, because obviously she's my mom, she's kind of authority, and he would make me question her and like call and like go up to her and be like, you're committing this sin. And I had to go as a daughter and like address her and be like, you're doing this thing. Dad says, I have to come talk to you. And it was a very awkward, weird scenario, which obviously I didn't want to do. And he would make me threaten her. Like, if you don't stop doing X and Y and Z, we're going to call you in front of the church. And they had like such a intense situation where you got called in front of the church meeting, like kind of like a court, and they vote like if you stay in or you leave. So it's like they get voted out of the church, voted out of their families, voted out of their house. It's a very real, like, intense humiliation, a public humiliation that people could get subjected to. And so obviously I didn't want to do that to my mother. But then my dad would be like, well, if you don't do this, then I'm going to do that to you. So then I was like, well, I'm not going to put my mother through that, you know?
Yeah.
Is really, it's a lot of control. It's a lot of brainwashing. It's a lot of humiliation, public humiliation that they would use to try and coerce people to follow the rules or to do what they say or believe what they want to believe. And it's a lot of control.
That's, you know, have you ever seen The Handmaid's Tale?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. It's a show on Hulu. It's super popular.
Okay.
But the idea is they're in a society, I think years from now.
Okay.
And really like a really conservative group have taken over and have stolen the fertile women to mate with the elite of the city.
Yeah.
But it's really conservative and they're kind of taking people back in time. But there was a lot of that. There's a lot of that in the show. There's a lot of
like the control,
the humiliation and if someone had this information, it was their obligation to tell on, like it's their obligation to God to tell on someone.
Yeah.
And it's such a mind fuck.
That's very similar actually.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't tell on someone who committed something or you don't voice up, you're now like accomplice or you're going to be in trouble. So it was very much a weird tattletale, accusatory, control freak system that I mean, obviously a lot of people don't go through that, but there are cults that go through these things. And I'm finding out more and more that cults have these characteristics of intimidation, humiliation, and banishment, which is ultimately what happened to me. I wasn't ready at the time to leave my family. I was ready to leave the beliefs, which obviously I discussed, but I wasn't ready to leave my family.
Right.
So if you can, say that you don't believe it anymore, you're going to get kicked out. So for me, they just decided, okay, you don't believe these things and you're not going to, so we're going to kick you out anyways. Mm-hmm. That's basically the decision my dad made, and he publicly humiliated me and went through with it. It was just weird because, I was like, no, I don't want to lose my mom. I don't want to lose my sisters, my brother. And the decision was made for me. So I was like, okay, all right.
This is at 21?
21, yeah.
How did that happen?
But I will remind you, I was not a typical 21-year-old. I was like a naive, probably like had like a 16-year-old's mindset. I'd never dated before.
No, 21-year-olds in general are so dumb.
Like
so even I actually thought you'd be way more mature. I'm thinking you're a smart, capable 21-year-old.
I mean, I was smart, but I was naive. I'm naive to the way things in the world. I had not really dated before yet. Like I was naive in a lot of ways. So I was not like, even though people are like, oh, I've left my house before 21. Yeah, but I was like, I wasn't exposed to a lot of the things that you would be exposed to. So I feel like my mindset was more like a 16-year-old.
Yeah. You're definitely not on MySpace. Right?
No,
yeah. Okay. No. Oh my God. Wait.
Yeah.
So this is super personal, but did you tell your family bye? Like, was there an opportunity to say, see
it wasn't
later?
an opportunity. I actually was working night shift at the hospital. I just started.
Oh, so you were already nursing?
Yes,
okay.
I was already nursing. I had been nursing for about 6 months. Thankfully, I had a job, and I came home from night shift one day, and my dad was just like, here, eat your dinner, but we have to tell you something. And I was like, this is super awkward. It's like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I'm exhausted. And I guess it wasn't night shift, it was day shift. But anyways, I came home from work, sitting there, and he's like, you have to pack all your bags. We voted you out of the church. You're not part of the family anymore. And like, you have to leave tonight. And I was like, tonight? Like this right now? Like I just got home from work. I'm exhausted. And he's just like, yeah, you have to leave now. So he made me pack my bags. My sister was helping pack my bags. It was just a very weird scenario. And I just remember it like that. And he wasn't going to let me stay. He wasn't going to let me, just rushed me out.
Yeah.
Put me in a hotel. And I was like, okay, I got to figure out if he's just mad at me right now or if I'm really like not, if he's really serious.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have 3 days to find your own apartment, and that's it. And I was like, okay. And, I did that. And then, I guess you have to read the book to find out.
Yeah. I can't wait to read this book. Wait, so you stayed in Topeka for a while and nursed, I'm sure?
Yeah, I stayed in Topeka for about 6 months, and I was terrorized by one of my former best friends, coworkers at work.
It'd be your own friends.
Yes.
That's what they say.
Oh, God. She made it miserable working there.
I want to kick these people's asses for you, by the way. I'm such a jerk. Like, I want to drive to Topeka in my little Jeep.
Yeah. I mean, it made me strong. This whole experience definitely strengthened me a lot. And now whenever I see someone go through anything similar to like, something hateful or something exclusive or I don't know, I immediately want to kick someone's ass too.
Aww, I can tell that about you. I feel like you would be a strong, you obviously have a really clear heart. When I was in college, we learned about people. I took a class on 20th century genocide, which is like the Holocaust and Rwanda and Darfur, like terrible stuff. But we learned about people who were extremely empathetic and people who could risk their lives to house Jews during the Holocaust or something like that.
Yeah.
And one of the books I read kind of suggested that it's a very special person. It takes a very special person to go against the grain and kind of risk their life at times and risk especially their livelihood. So it's not a small feat what you've done. You're definitely a special person.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Trust me. I read that book.
Thank you, girl.
That's amazing. So you nursed there for a while. What did you do after that, after nursing in Topeka? How'd you get here?
Oh, yes. So I went to Connecticut. I kind of just didn't want to stay in Topeka anymore. There's not really a lot going on there to begin with, but my family was the only thing really keeping me there. And they were shunning me, essentially, not even letting me come home. I would call my mother and be like, can I come home over dinner? Like, I really tried to see, like, if I was still allowed to have a relationship.
Yeah.
And my father pretty much just wouldn't allow it. So I was getting more and more it was getting more and more tricky to work in this environment where my family would come and go throughout the hospital. And I had this, ex-best friend coworker that was, lying about me to my coworkers and trying to get me fired. And it was just a miserable experience. I was already pretty depressed at that point in my life. I won't lie. Like, this is way before my fitness stuff. I had nothing really going on for me. I would just go to work, and I would work like 5-6 shifts a week just to keep myself busy and sane. So then after like that was kind of running myself into the ground, I decided, okay, I need to leave Topeka. Topeka is not good for me right now at all. So I end up moving to Connecticut. I had a very new friendship with an online friendship with a guy, and I had no Instagram, no MySpace, no like Facebook, nothing. And I was like, wow, like this is the only person that I like trust right now. We had a long distance online relationship, and I randomly decided, okay, well, let me see if Connecticut's cool, because that's where he lived.
Yeah.
And I went to go see it for a couple weeks, and I was like, this is cool. Like, I've always wanted to go to New York, but it's not as expensive as New York, and it's nearby. So that's where I ended up in Connecticut. And I actually met my husband there a year and a half later.
Oh, so different guy.
Yeah, different guy.
How was the online guy? Was he normal?
No.
Oh, God.
Definitely not.
Shit. They never are.
Super not normal at all.
Man.
Like, you're typical, like, oh, wow, that I should have seen a million red flags, but I'd never dated a guy before.
Fair.
I'd never even had an online really account within it, so I didn't know what to look for there either. So
yeah, that's you're allowed that mistake.
So I made that mistake.
Wow. So he's from Connecticut? Or you just happen to be there too?
What? Who?
Your husband?
My husband.
Yeah.
Yes, he grew up in Connecticut.
Oh, cute. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't that funny how love works sometimes? And relationships, like sometimes you need that crazy guy online to meet your husband.
Yeah.
Like,
I held on way too long to that relationship. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, the first one was like a year and a half long, and it was interesting.
It's meant to be.
At least, yeah.
So you and your husband live in Connecticut, and then you made it here?
Okay, so we dated and got engaged and got married in Connecticut, and then I think it was a year after we got married that I decided, you know what, I really just want to get in the best shape of my life. I had been working as a nurse for, was it 8 years, 7 years, something like that. And I started working night shift. I started getting like certain symptoms of, I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this gonna be the rest of my life? I was getting like random back pains because, you live to lift patients all the time.
Oh, wow.
I was getting more overweight because I was hitting my late 20s. When I was younger, I could get away with eating anything, like mac and cheese every day, grilled cheese, whatever. And as soon as I hit my late 20s, it was like, no, actually, no, that's not gonna work out.
Oh, no.
So I was
That's me now.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, I have back pain. I'm gaining weight. I can't eat mac and cheese. Like, I got to do something about this, So I decided I wanted to sign up for my first fitness show, and I was 28, and I signed up for, I think it was like Fitness Atlantic. It was a WBFF show. That's the federation. And I saw all these girls getting in amazing shape in like 8-9 weeks. I'm like, how is that even possible? And I'm like, okay. I really was very random about my workouts before that. I was like, I would do Stairmaster if I felt like I was getting fat, or randomly, just super random, nothing consistent. Had never really followed a diet before. And I signed up for the show, got coached, and in 9 weeks I went from like, kind of like your average skinny fat type, like an average body style, to like ripped and toned and super fit in like 9 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I felt strong, and I fell in love with it, and I got addicted to the lifestyle. And on top of that, fitness became like a huge therapy for me. Like, I felt like a huge like release of like tension and stress and anxiety. And I just felt so excited and happy to be in the gym all the time. And I fell in love with it. And I basically fell in love with the fitness competitions as well. I was addicted. I got the bug. And
fun.
I did like 6 shows in 12 months. I love
those shows.
Yeah.
I've been to a few. I had a bunch of exes who did it.
They're glamorous.
They're fun.
And so, yeah, I did like, I think I got my pro card on the 5th show. I did my first pro show a couple months later, got 4th place. I just fell in love with it. And during that whole time, I was like growing my social media. I was posting a lot of fitness content, and I was starting to train people because I was so happy with how I got my results that people were asking me, what did you do? What did you train? What are you eating? Like they couldn't believe it happened so fast.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'll show you. And then I got into it, and I got my NASM cert, and I became certified, and kind of the rest is history, I guess.
Hell yeah. So you moved what made you come to LA? Why are you doing all this?
I don't know. You know what? It was living in Connecticut, and I was doing this job, and then I was like, you know what? We should go live somewhere else, because slowly but surely I was able to do a lot of my work remotely. Mm-hmm. And I went from like full-time nursing, then I went part-time, then I went per diem, and then I was like, I'm going to take a little break and focus on this business stuff and see what we could do with it. Maybe we could move around and, see some of the world, see some of the America. So we went to Florida for a few weeks. I wanted to see if I liked that. It was all right. It was more of a vacation vibe. So then we went across the country, came over to LA, and I think at the time I had some sponsors and stuff that I had a reason to come here. And I was like, I'll just use that as a reason. This is like the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
And, it's a dream to come here. And I followed a lot of influencers actually there from LA. And I was like, that'd be so cool to meet them one day or collab with them one day. And so I don't know, it was multiple purpose, I guess. But I mainly wanted to see California and explore and see if there was business opportunities and collaborations. And there's been a lot that I've been able to do this last year.
There's a lot.
So yeah.
Yeah, so
it's been really cool and fun. And I can never go back to Connecticut.
When was that? I feel like everyone has an aha moment when they get here and they know they're going to move. What was that? What was yours?
Like they're going to stay here?
Like you've been here and then you're like, this is the place. Like where were you? Were you?
Well, I first actually moved to Orange County. And Orange County, like, it's nice and all, but it's like a little slow pace. There's not a lot going on. There's not
that's still pretty aha, though. Orange County is still dope.
Yeah, Orange County's dope, and I liked it, but I knew that, like, all the things I was doing here were in LA. Like, when I was working with different photographers and doing collaborations, meeting up, I did a couple casting calls for things. It wasn't really my thing. But I was like, I'm in LA. I guess I'll do casting calls. Yeah. And then you get offers for all kinds of weird things.
The weirdest.
The weirdest.
Oh, God. The weirdest.
I didn't show up to all the weirdest ones, but
I have. Oh, God. I really have. Can I just tell you guys, side note?
Yeah.
Every time you move to LA, like when you move here broke. So you had things going on, thank God. But like me and my girlfriend,
I wasn't broke, but I wasn't on my feet.
Yeah.
I was using
we were looking at Craigslist.
Oh.
Me and my friend Shai, she's been on here. She'll come back. But we were on Craigslist, like looking for bartending jobs and stuff. And
did you have pictures on your Craigslist?
No, hell no. I didn't know you could. I probably would have.
I made that mistake.
Oh, shit. No. So on Craigslist, there's always these job offerings for like Koreatown karaoke bars.
Oh.
Everyone knows. I swear, everyone in LA knows about. Go to Craigslist right now, you guys. I'm not lying. There's a Koreatown karaoke girl job, and it seems great because it's like, oh, come in and you'll be a karaoke girl, and no one knows what that is. I'm gonna have to get Shai.
Karaoke girl.
Okay, next episode, I promise Shai's gonna tell you about
I kind of want to go and do karaoke right now because you're saying this.
We definitely should, and we should ask the girls what their job is because I don't know
where they got it from.
I'm gonna make Shai tell this story on the next episode, but I'm just happy that you didn't have to go that route. Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, I made my Craigslist mistake back when I was in Connecticut. I put up my face and I was like, I need a roommate, looking for a girl around the age of 24, likes dogs. And I was like, okay, that.
What did they come, like girlfriend
Every guy on the planet just applied. And I'm like, I said female roommate.
No.
But I don't know why I posted a bunch of pictures of myself on Craigslist.
That's bold.
That was a mistake. But.
Craigslist is so scary. People have put my photos on like Backpages, which is an escort site.
Oh, I've had that too.
One time I messaged the owner of Backpages or something, and I swear his name was Rusty. Like
what?
Like his name was literally Rusty, and I was like, to whom it may concern, Rusty, please take my photos off your Backpage site. Like it was so.
I've had to have my photos removed from a lot of sites and like strip club, like advertisements.
Yeah,
very weird things.
Yeah,
all kinds of catfishing is happening.
Oh my God, that's the price of being hot.
So,
which you definitely are.
Well, thank you, love.
So now you're full-time online coaching, training, content creating.
Yes.
What is that like? What is your everyday like? I wanted to ask you that. Like, do you wake up at 3 a.m.?
I should. I really want to be a morning person. I'm not a morning person. It's terrible. I don't know. One day maybe I will be. But it's a lot. It's a lot of things. And especially when you come to LA and you see other influencers and you're seeing, oh my gosh, this girl's doing this and this girl's doing that, and it's the fitness and it's the social influencer, and there's all these things you could get involved in. And I always want to be involved. I always want to use like my platform for as many, potential things that I possibly can do, because it's a blessing to have so much love, so many supporters, and you want to be able to use it for good. Like I always want to do all these giveaways on my page. I'm always wanting to do like get people in shape, get people like enthused about fitness, and it's some days I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I take on too many projects. I feel like I take on a lot of projects. That's
actually a really good feeling. I usually feel like I don't do enough.
Really?
Yeah, it was hard for me for a while to get some direction.
I had that moment for like 2 years. I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm in LA. Do I act? Do I sing? Do I dance? What do I do? Like, everyone's doing all the things. And I'm like, I can't do all the things, but I would try things because I love trying new things all the time. And I do like collabing. And so if it would turn into something fun or something funny, like whatever happened. I was like, okay, so I can't really dance, but I can look funny and fun doing it. So I was like, whatever. I don't know. I try new things all the time. I actually have I think tomorrow I'm doing like some type of acrobatic backflip thing tomorrow. I pick up random opportunities. I don't know why. I think it's just that I like to do new things and I like to utilize my collabs.
Hell yeah. You're not a one-trick pony. I've been wanting to say one-trick pony all day. Oh. I don't know why.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm not a one-trick pony either. I was acting on a show on Monday, and people go, "Oh, you're an actress," and I'm like, I don't know what exactly I am. So let's not put a label on it.
I think it's just too much labeling happening. Like, just let it fly, let it flow.
And in LA, you're just trying to get hired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So question. So, what is the biggest? I remember you telling me about when you were a nurse and people were kind of, whenever you started your fitness career and modeling and posting pictures, people were kind of like, what's she doing?
Yeah.
And gave you a little shade. Like, tell me about that.
Well, I mean, it was low key. Like, I would get word of like people are looking at because I started my Instagram while working full time at the hospital. So all the girls were seeing my page and I was posting some risque stuff, for sure risque, lots of less clothing, lots of ab shots, booty shots, stuff.
You worked hard for that bod.
I worked hard for it, but I mean, it's not what everyone else's Instagrams were looking like at work, for sure. And, people were like, I guess, I didn't realize this, but they were all talking about me all around the hospital. And I actually worked at a float nurse position, which means I would go from floor to floor to floor. And each night I would end up on a different unit. And I didn't really have like a home base of nurses and coworkers. So I was just like, I would look around and I would see people on their phones and giggling. And I was like, oh gosh,
I hate that.
And I would see it. And it was flattering and insulting at the same time, because it's flattering because people are looking at you and they're impressed with your results and what you came from, and then you also realize they're talking about you behind your back and you're like, what are they saying? And they're saying good stuff. But I learned to get past it, and a lot of them would tell me to my face, and that actually made me feel better. Like, hey, I saw your photos, I saw how good shape you got in. When they come to me to my face, I was like, okay, that's cool. I can handle that. It's just the behind your back kind of stuff, and it's like, oh man, I'm being judged at work, and hopefully they're not looking at me a certain way and thinking I can't be professional at work, which obviously I've been very professional at work. I mean, I'd already been doing nursing for 8 years, so that's my thing.
Yeah.
The whole modeling thing was very new to me, and I was very awkward at it actually in the beginning.
Oh, no, I can't believe that.
Yeah, for sure I was awkward at the beginning.
It's weird. When I was in college, I was a journalism major first before I got a useless history degree. And
aren't all degrees useless?
Maybe. They might be. But one of our teachers was telling us, she was like, if you post sexy pictures online, she was trying to tell us that working for Sports Illustrated was a great idea for women.
Okay.
Women in journalism. She said a lot of sports agents and careers love women, they're looking for more women.
Yeah.
But because we're in Louisiana, so she's from the South, and she's saying you shouldn't, don't post anything sexy online.
Okay.
This one girl we know got fired for wearing a nurse's costume and putting it on her Facebook.
Yeah.
Like a sexy nurse costume. And I don't think she realized the significance of telling me that, an impressionable 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, I'm out. Because I'm going to wear that.
Yeah. It's very, okay, so to answer your question a little bit better, I did receive I wouldn't say like a lot of public bullying, but it was like the behind your back kind of things. And sometimes I felt like I was getting by some certain nurses, not on all of them, but the culture is already that in nursing and in lots of jobs where there's a lot of females involved, there can be cattiness and jealousy and backstabbing and things going on.
Yeah.
And if you add like social media to it, where it's like, I don't know if it's more of a threat or if it's just more in their face or more ways to judge, then I have experienced that, there can be bullying happening, and they can tell on you, try to get you fired, try to get you in trouble, or just very weird things that you don't want to deal with in the work environment, especially when you're taking care of patients, and the patient should be your priority. The patient's well-being, their safety, them getting their meds delivered, all that stuff needs to be taken into consideration. But instead, the environment, and even before my Instagram, there was nursing bullying going on, and I know nurses that have experienced it themselves, where it's just like, how are we not empowering each other to like help each other get through these really long shifts, these really hard, sometimes hard patients, hard families, hard shifts.
Yeah.
And instead we're making it worse on each other because why? Because we have a lifestyle outside of our work that I guess you don't agree with or judge, which is very weird because it's not like the girls aren't posting bikini pictures from their vacations. Like, you still see these things, maybe not to the same risque scale that I was doing it to, but it's just a very weird thing that girls would hate on each other like that. I just don't get it. I've always been about empowering each other. I've never been about jealousy or cattiness, and I steer clear of it anytime I come around someone that gives me that vibe. So
same.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate it. I hate people who are gossipy.
It's just it's so ugly. It's like the ugliest thing.
It hurts me. Honestly, I'm one of those people. I know that people talk shit about me. Like, I know some of my best friends do. I just know because I give them.
I mean, you could tell.
I'm one of those people that like I give you ammo. I am posting pictures in my panties. I make fun of myself. I try new things. I make a podcast with no hosting experience. You know what I mean? Like I'm giving you ammo to pick on me, but man, I don't care.
Yeah, no, it's good. You can't really care. You can't really care.
No, I'm like I know what you're saying, and I expect you to say it.
It's helped me grow balls. Also, there's a couple milestones in my life that have helped me grow some balls, and that's one of them.
It's crazy too whenever we talk about jobs and having this outside life, because when it comes to like teaching, so like high school teachers, they talk about, don't post anything sexy on Facebook because it violates a morality issue. I believe it's either a morality clause or something, but when it comes down to a contract of a teacher, at least when I was looking into being a teacher, the issue was if your behavior outside of school is immoral, they can come into the classroom. So basically they're saying like sexy pics can be immoral. We have had teachers, I don't know if they're doing it now, but I mean 3 years ago they were firing people for like sexy Facebook posts. What if you love Karma Sutra?
How can you even be a kid or adolescent in this generation? Seriously, you're getting judged for everything that's on your social media?
It's tough because I wonder, think about Barney. I met Barney.
Barney?
I know. Where does he come in? Okay. I met Barney. Barney was Barney. Okay. The guy who played Barney. Now he runs a tantric sex place.
He does?
And I met the guy outside of a club one time, and he doesn't seem like some creep.
Okay.
When you read his article and his interview, this seems like this man's passion.
Okay.
And it seems he's very nice. He's a very nice man. And it's like, this was Barney, and Barney might be into some kinky stuff.
Okay.
But is he
why
can't
Barney?
you be both? Like, why can't you be a great...
Is he still Barney, though?
He is not Barney.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think he's Barney.
Is Barney even a thing? I don't watch TV.
I don't think he's Barney anymore. I saw him outside of a club here in May. It was so funny. He's been going out lately. I don't know what's going on. But that's the thing.
I don't know what's going on.
You can have these like, what is stopping you from providing excellent life-supporting health care? I can't take a hot pic in my spare time.
I have a
what
good
does one have to do with the other?
I have a good friend that she's, she has her Instagram. It's not even like a large following. It's whatever, decent, but not huge. And she's getting hate from her work. She's literally had to go in and talk to her manager and be like, the other girls are all hating on me. She's an excellent nurse. She's a pediatric ICU nurse.
Oh my God.
She gives cancer treatments to children. Like, she's an excellent nurse, but she's getting hate from her work and a bullying environment that she has to deal with. Why? Because she posts like some sexy bikini photos on Instagram. Like, what girl doesn't post some sexy bikini photo. If you get in shape to look great.
If it makes you feel good, you know what I mean? And whatever makes me feel good in my off time, that makes me come into my work being a happy, satisfied, fulfilled person, that should make you happy.
Yeah. But even so, like that's like you're providing an excellent, awesome service for people. Like it's a really high stress job. It requires a lot of talent, patience, management skills, a lot of things. And like to know that the other girls who also know that because they're in that job are going to make it more challenging for you because why? Because you have an Instagram that is sexy. Like what?
It's crazy.
Like, what?
Yeah. We really like villainize how women, our bodies and everything, because honestly, like I feel like posting pictures kind of is me fluffing my feathers like a peacock.
Yeah,
like
we all do
I just like to fluff my feathers. I've liked taking pictures forever.
We all fluff our feathers in different ways. Some people fluff them by being funny. Some people fluff them by dancing. Some people fluff them by, this.
Exactly. And it just makes me feel good. I'm not seeking much. Like I don't really want to hook up with anyone.
It for sure is a form of validation. You're getting validation that, you're gorgeous, that you're pretty, you're attractive, that you make people smile every day. Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of different ways that everyone does it in their own little way, seeks validation or attention in their life. It might
which is normal too. It's so normal to seek attention, by the way. Like it's not in a bad way, but no, it is in our biology, we do crave, we want the people around us and the people that we live and work with, just like the way monkeys and bears and all these other environments do. We actually animalistically enjoy attention. We like to be praised and fit in. But I feel like sometimes we're ostracized for being hot, but we want to, I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
It's a weird thing, for sure weird.
Let me post the bikini pictures. That's the end of the day. But, I feel like also if we had a lot more women in managerial positions and the people who were deciding who gets paid and who gets hired and all that stuff, maybe it would be less of an issue. Because if look at the situation we have in the government now. It's all dudes deciding what women do. Maybe if we had a little bit of equal representation, it might not be as much of an issue.
It's a double-edged sword. They want us to do it, but they'll criticize us for doing it. It's the whole shaming thing. It's like, nah, I'm not about the shaming thing. I'm not going to shame women. And I'm not going to judge them either. So
also, when you post bikini pictures, deciding on a bikini is so much easier than styling a whole outfit. Like if a bikini looks so good no matter what. Like styling outfits are really hard.
Maybe a bikini is good for you, Lindsay, but
I wear one every day.
I have trouble with bikinis sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time.
Maybe I'm just psychotic because I'm a fitness chick, so I have to be like super ripped, but yeah.
Oh my God. I would wear a bikini I should do it. I actually decided that
in LA you can get away with wearing a bikini a lot.
You can wear your nipples out.
Oh, really?
That's what I love about LA. You can have a sheer shirt and have
you
nips.
Can do the sheer, for sure, sheer. Yeah.
And it's fine here. That's what I really do like about LA.
I don't think I've seen like your sheer nipples recently.
They're out. No, they've been there, but I don't try to photograph them. But no, in LA, you really can't. No one's going to say, oh, you're dressed like a super whore. Because in LA, it's fashion. Like you can wear whatever you want and people aren't going to give you that label because designers everywhere are pushing all the limits. So here it's not. In Louisiana, if I wore some see-through lace stuff, I would be stoned.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you dress conservatively if you go back home? Do you go back home?
I do go back home. And I try to. I wear turtlenecks and stuff.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
But I really love turtlenecks, which is such a funny thing. People think I would never.
Are they sheer?
No, my favorite outfit and what you would, if you ever caught me coming out of my apartment every day, mostly I'm wearing a black turtleneck. And that's actually my favorite, most comfortable, where I feel very pretty.
I do love fall weather clothes. They're kind of nice.
Yeah, I feel like a turtleneck just goes a long way.
Yeah.
Especially if you get a little cute. Never mind. I'm just going to stop. So anyway, you're this amazing nurse, health, fitness expert. I had to ask you, how do you feel with the internet now? We have this amazing body positivity movement happening.
Okay.
Where we're being more inclusive with sizing and models and who we decide are celebrities and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you feel that's a great and positive thing? And are there any negative impacts? Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that we're empowering women of all ages, sexes, sizes, everything. I said sexes. I meant sizes.
Hey.
And I just think it's amazing. I want women to be really excited with who they are and have a good body image. And a lot of, for me, fitness, like I told you, it was great to get in good shape, but it was also amazing to feel in shape and to feel good and to feel energized and just have this elevated mood. So for me, it's very therapeutic. It's like, the aesthetics are good, but that's just like an icing on the cake for me. It's very therapeutic. So I find fitness being so therapeutic for women, for men, for everyone, because it's what our bodies are supposed to do. Our bodies are supposed to be, we're supposed to take care of our bodies. And so for me, it's not about like what shape you are, how big you are, how much you weigh, or anything like what size you are. If you're happy with it and you're confident and you have a good body image of yourself, that's amazing. Go for it. Be confident and be happy with it. I do personally think that health is something you could take into consideration. So if you are a bigger girl and you like that, that's totally cool. But maybe, consider that to live a long, healthy, happy life, or to live a life with a lot of quality of life, you're going to make sure you take care of your heart. You do have some cardio exercise and things like that. So I'm a cardiac nurse, so
oh my gosh, you are?
Yes, that was my
That's
main
what scares
thing.
me the most in life is the heart.
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to encourage people, not to smoke on the regular. I'm going to encourage people to eat healthy, to follow a certain diet and to train certain ways. But I don't really have an image in mind
that's good.
Would be ideal. I think everybody has a different image. And I find beauty, I actually did a YouTube video about this recently. I don't know if you saw it, but beauty is from one end of the spectrum to the other. You can be heavier or curvier. You could be thin. You could be like fit. All different shapes and sizes. I find women and men too beautiful. So it's not so much about that, like ideal. I think it's good that our society is finally going away from an ideal and recognizing beauty in so many different ways and shapes. But like for me, I personally would promote health in terms of like how you feel, your mood, your energy, your quality of life, how well you get up in the morning, how well you sleep, how long you're going to live, things like that. So for me, it's also preventative healthcare. It's not so much the image that is necessary, but with Instagram, everyone's attracted to what it looks like. So that's kind of what I have to put out there sometimes.
No, that makes so much sense. I always read these articles about, because people villainize some of the plus size models and they say, oh, you're glorifying obesity. And they're like, no, I'm absolutely not. And I read one interesting article that said that it was discussing obesity and being healthy. And it said, what's more important than the size is literally that you're exercising.
Yeah.
And they said basically on the way that the studies worked were, it mattered less what the pound was. It mattered how active you were and how often you were working out. And that would outweigh the benefit, good or bad, of the weight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there's people that are skinny. I was a skinny fat that wasn't taking care of myself. For all intents and purposes, you could see... people would think I look great. Oh, she can eat that mac and cheese. But at the end of the day, I was treating my body like absolute hell. I was eating mac and cheese and grilled cheese and anything in sight that was sugary, carby, no veggies, no fiber, little to no water, like terrible. I knew as a nurse I was taking care of myself terribly, and I was still skinny fat. So people would think, oh, you're allowed to eat that. No, health-wise, I really shouldn't. I should be eating my greens. I should be eating healthy proteins, things like that. So just because your shape is a certain way doesn't mean internally you're looking great. And there's plenty of heavier people that are in great shape, and they're working out and they're getting their sweat on and stuff like that. So I think it's really ignorant to think that a shape indicates a person's health, because it doesn't, but yeah, I would obviously advocate for that. And another thing I was going to mention, it's funny, on my Instagram, actually, one of my most highest performing photos is a photoshopped image of me super curvy and heavy. Like I'm literally like a bigger girl.
Oh, really?
And I found this image on the internet, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to post this because I want people to know that beauty is in all shapes and sizes. And although this could have been, perceived, someone could have thought that maybe they're trying to insult me, or maybe there's someone saying I should look this way. Either way, I wanted them to know that I'm going to take it as a positive thing, and I support women that are curvier and bigger and whatever. And if I was bigger, then I'd be beautiful too.
I love that.
Literally the highest performing photo on my page.
I love that. People always tell me too, I fluctuate and I'll gain 10 pounds or 10 pounds less. But and they'll be like, oh, wow, you look so great now. And I'm like, just so you know, I felt fine at 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
I like both.
Yeah.
I
fluctuate too. I'm literally, like I was telling you, fitness for me is therapy. I'm not doing it just for the aesthetics. In fact, aesthetics is not even the top reason. I mean, obviously I'm in fitness modeling now, so it's kind of like, it is a motivator to like, oh, let me show you guys my abs or whatever. But for me, I feel better. Like I feel like more stable. I don't get in a bitchy mood. Like I sleep better. I feel energetic. Yeah. Like I just feel more me when I do it. So when people ask like, oh, aren't you going to stop working out? You already reached your goal. I'm like, no, that's not my only goal. My goal is to feel amazing, and this lifestyle helps me do that. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I know working out feels good because I always comment nice stuff while I'm at the gym. So like in between sets, I'll be scrolling, like I'm taking a break before I lift weights, and I write really nice stuff and I mean it. And I'm like, this is my endorphins.
It's your endorphins.
Yeah.
It's serotonin. It can actually help your dopamine release.
I'll answer emails that I have put off.
Yeah.
Like my mood is, I'll do way more nice things.
Way more nice things. So like if I get a comment from you, oh, nice workout at the gym.
Between 1 and 3, I'm at the gym and I'm happy.
Yeah. No, it's a huge mood elevator. Yes. So if you find yourself moody, hit the gym and see what happens.
Yes. Do you ever find that people even shame you for being too fit?
Do I get?
Because I feel like I get shamed for everything.
You get trolls of every sort and size, but like it's like, oh, like you're so into yourself. You're always showing yourself off. I'm like, everyone shows themselves on their Instagram page. Like, isn't that what our pages are for? So you'll get that, or like, oh, you're so, you're showing your body off so much. But I'm like, I kind of chose to make this my thing. Like my thing, my advertising thing is my body. If I'm in shape, you believe that I can get in shape. You believe that I can get you in shape, and that's kind of how I advertise myself. So I'm like, yeah, I guess you could say I'm into it myself. But I actually post a lot of my clients all over my page. You can actually check there right now. I have a whole bunch of videos of my clients that just finished my fitness challenge, which is coming up again in 2 weeks.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Every 8 weeks I run fitness challenges for people of all walks of life, pretty much anywhere from the ages 18 and up, male and female worldwide. And I get thousands of transformations.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what is your most significant transformation? Or do you have one of those stories that, I'm sure you have one that like changed your life by changing theirs?
Every single one changes my life, to be honest. I mean, I get really humbled and honored to when my clients send me their transformations, because some people will send me something that was like, this was me 3 years ago. I did your challenge 3 years ago, and look at me now. And they've done a bunch of like fitness competitions. They're in better shape than I am now. Looking like super strong and healthy. And they're like, you changed my life. I started my fitness journey with you, and I kept it going. That's really touching when I meet people in person and they tell me their fit journeys, or someone that overcame some type of health illness. That usually touches me the most. Like, I had this type of ailment, or I had really bad cholesterol, bad blood pressure, all these things, and now I don't. And now I'm living this lifestyle and I'm feeling amazing. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like I got you off of medications. I got you off of blood pressure pills.
That's amazing.
I got you off of cholesterol pills. That to me, that's where I came from. I came from nursing and cardiac nursing. So for me, when I could change someone's life that way, I'll start to tear up.
Oh my God. Cute. Wait, so I'm just going to use your health expertise on myself right now.
Oh, okay.
I have like nearly high cortisol, like 1 point from being considered.
Cortisol or cholesterol?
Cortisol, the stress, I am stressed out.
Are you an anxious person?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think a lot. I also am very scared. I'm sure if I were diagnosed, I'd have PTSD.
Really?
When I hear a loud noise, my heart sinks.
Where does that come from?
I think a few things, but I've had like a bad wreck and some other things.
Oh, wow.
So my cortisol is borderline high, which I'm sure is causing inflammation. It makes me tired.
Yeah.
What would you say because the key is to be less stressed out, and I don't see that happening. I just can't.
There's a lot of different stress
shit to do.
There's a lot of things to do about it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. For me, cortisol, you're going to have to check you could have your adrenals checked. You could do a saliva test. You can actually do an at-home saliva test through like Amazon and check your cortisol levels and check your adrenals. But usually adrenal is what would be the problem, is you're over secreting, adrenaline, and then that's what's causing the cortisol release and everything. So I'm a big geek when it comes to labs and like checking out. I check my labs on everything as well to make sure I'm healthy internally, not just externally. But I knew you could do that. And honestly, with adrenal fatigue, because there's different stages, it's usually like, you drink way too much coffee to stay awake, or if when you drink coffee, it doesn't keep you awake. But you can, so that could be like a sign. But honestly,
you don't say. Okay.
Honestly, there's so many different ways to release stress. Like for me, going for a good run, going for a workout really releases stress, and it helps with all the good chemicals going through your system. So exercise could be one, massage, like laughing more, hanging with certain friends. But yeah, I mean,
You think insurance will cover my massage?
it really should.
I think that we should make it a try. Insurance is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm going to pay
I
that, you
have
should give me
private
a massage.
insurance, and it's like, wow.
Yeah,
I feel
no.
like I need to get sick just to justify me having insurance.
Same. No, I hate paying for it. Yeah, it
I'm
was
like,
crazy.
why am
though.
I so healthy? I pay like $1,000 in health insurance every month.
See, my mom told me to get that catastrophic coverage.
Yeah.
And I just thought, ugh, I feel like that's a bad omen. I mean, not.
Can we? Yeah, I know, right? It's like you're covered, but you're like, wait, why do I have this?
If I die.
Hopefully I don't have to use this.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, knock on wood. Well, thank you for giving me so much great advice. I had so much fun
Hey, that
listening
was super
to your
fun.
whole
That
story.
was very, like, I feel like we just hung out.
Me
It was
too.
Super fun and easy.
I love getting to know you more. What do you have coming up, and where? I know you mentioned, but where can my listeners follow you?
Well, they can follow me on Instagram, Lauren Drain Fit. I'm on YouTube. I'm doing weekly YouTube channel uploads at Lauren Drain. And I also have Facebook, Lauren Drain. So hit me your questions and I'll figure out what you guys want me to answer.
Hell yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you guys for listening to another episode of Eyes Up Here. Be sure to rate and subscribe for your girl. I'd appreciate it. And we will see you later. Bye.